What's up, everyone? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank G, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while showcasing us building ours.
All right, we are on every Monday and Thursday. That may change for the upcoming weeks because Frank over here is very busy making sales at his job. We missed Thursday episode. Frank, you're hitting me up a little overwhelmed at times.
Yeah, I mean, as I'm sure most people know who are listening as well, a 9-to-5 can get a little tough sometimes, but you can't lose sight of what you're doing on the side and what's important.
Well, before we get into, selling and sales and how to sell, psychology of sales, grind, which I think is going to be the main focal point of today's show, considering how, you pretty much rip me off of, product and
I rip you off, huh?
I don't know. You're a great salesman, but shout out Tom, right? Tom, who is a great listener of ours, you know Tom, right?
Yes, I know Tom. Tom Doyle, you talking about?
Yeah, Tom.
I'm very curious if you're going to say what I was going to say right after about someone else.
I don't know, but Tom Doyle just found out on his birthday his beautiful wife is going to have a kid. What a good moment.
That is amazing. That is wonderful. Young kid with his head on his shoulders, and he's starting a family. That's wonderful. That's something that we want.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say someone hit me up saying, I don't think the Thursday episode aired. What happened? I think something went wrong. I'm like, nah, man, we had to skip it. We skipped one episode.
That's actually hilarious. Someone hit you up requesting Thursday's episode.
Yeah. That was my boy Alex. Shout out Alex.
Shout out Alex.
He's a good listener.
Wait, do you work with Alex?
No.
Oh.
Well, Alex is a client of mine.
Oh. So I don't think you rip off Alex. You rip off Chris.
I rip off my best friend?
Oh, please stop. If Ryan or Lenny or John, don't make them, get awkward. All right. Stop it.
No one's making them get awkward but you right now.
Stop it. Just stop it. It's not my fault. You said I am the best.
Kid is, what do they call that? The pot stirrer, the devil's advocate.
Maybe I'm just selling or overselling what you stated.
Overselling could bite you in the ass in the end. You could have someone back off from that, or maybe get a return.
I don't know. Depends who bites you on the ass. That's what I say.
Yeah, just don't bite the hand that's feeding you.
Facts. And I actually taught a very valuable lesson to my nephew because he's got Snapchat pretty much to get a bunch of ladies. So I'm not mad at him. He's 11 and he's using it exactly how Snapchat should be used. Kind of like how you were saying off air, which I won't kind of recite on air. But I told him a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Now, have you heard of that expression before? You had to.
Absolutely. Of course.
I mean, that pretty much correlates to the sales environment, I think, right? If you don't speak up for what you want, how can anyone tell you yes or no?
Yeah, and as well as if in my certain position, if someone asks for a certain shoe and I decide I'll bring that shoe out, and then this shoe also looks great, so I'm going to present it. That's me speaking, and if I didn't do that, that would not have been sold.
Or if someone's asking you for a raise,
absolutely
scared. You got to ask. There's no harm in asking.
Yeah, I've certainly been in that situation in the company I'm in now. When you feel like if you feel like you deserve a raise, absolutely speak up. Obviously, do it in a professional way with reasoning, and if you don't speak, you're not getting it because the company's not just going to give you something.
Now, let's rewind this and bring this back a little bit because I do phone sales. Mm-hmm. You do retail sales. You're face-to-face with high-end clients discussing fashion and luxury. I'm over the phone closing deals, discussing financing and banking. Now, I'm sure the tactics and strategy in order to close deals are drastically different, yet somewhat similar. But I found it very interesting how when you tried giving me a scarf, you hear my dog in the background?
I do hear a little shadow.
Little shadow in the background. I wish he'd shut up during the podcast episode. For listeners, I guess I apologize there.
I accept your apology. I'm not sure how the listeners
I don't know.
feeling.
Is it loud? Like, geez.
It's gone now, so we'll keep it rolling, see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not as annoying as my last dog. My last dog would shut the fuck up. But I asked for a dark gray or black scarf.
Yes, you did.
My man Frank over here, Frank G, he was bitching to me that he couldn't find a solid color and was sending me scarves that, like, I didn't request, and it was different colors. And I was like, why would you do that for a client? If they come in, they ask you for a black scarf, wouldn't you show them a bunch of black scarves?
And if we don't have many black scarves, what am I going to do? I'll bring out the 1 or 2, and then I'll bring out 4 scarves that I think are excellent.
Of what you recommend yourself.
Yes.
So I found that very interesting because that in itself has to be in like your Ferragamo sales pamphlet on how to sell.
So, yeah, when you become a sales associate here, you get a nice little booklet that probably takes you a good amount of time to read, and that is certainly in it. You always bring out the item they request, and then you bring out a recommendation.
Which now from a phone sales side, you always discuss options and you always recite your recommendation, right? You're planting the seeds to get little yeses to eventually close the deal on the big yes.
Absolutely.
But I guess I didn't know that you were using sales tactics on me, and I should have humbled myself.
So yes, that is a sales tactic. But as everyone here knows, we are close friends. So I was still trying to help you.
I don't know how close. I wish I had the Ika treatment when you're selling me shit, but I get it.
Shout out Ika, my boy.
Yeah, I don't get no shout outs.
That's because we're shouting everyone else out. But I attempted to show you things that I thought would look good on you and keep you warm in the winter.
My guy, you know my style. What is my style? What's my fashion over here?
Black and white, kid.
And a little bit of gray.
Yeah, a little bit of all the like neutral colors. I guess
I like to be neutral. There's a fight, I'm neutral.
What is that, Switzerland?
I don't know. I'd like to go to Switzerland. The women are gorgeous.
Or Sweden. One of those.
Sweden also, I believe, have gorgeous women. I'll go wherever there's gorgeous women. I'm accepted, and I can sell stuff.
Gorgeous women, gorgeous views, and a great time.
Are you trying to sell me right now?
I don't need to sell you on a vacation. I know you just say yes.
Yeah, I'm always down. It's funny. I was talking to Ankit, and we were talking about relationships and how it's like a give or take, and how you invest time in the relationship, which is why ultimately when it ends is why it's, you know, you feel heartbroken, like you feel it in your chest physically and mentally, right?
Absolutely. You feel like you're giving it your all for 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, however long, 10 years, and then it's gone.
Yeah. So I was telling Ankit, I'm like, you know, it's weird because I don't feel like that with my boys. I'm like, you know, if they cross me or do something wrong, you know, I'll cut them off. They can go fuck themselves, and I'm not going to feel no type of way. I may recollect on nostalgia or memories. And I brought you up. I'm like, I mean, Frank's my homie, but if we don't talk, I don't think it's going to hurt like as much as like, you know, an ex would. I'm like, and we invest time in together kind of.
We probably invest more time than forming new relationships.
Yeah, but Ankit made a point. He's like, but when you and Frank go on vacation, you both want to do it. There's no investing in each. It's not like I want to go to Chile and you don't, but you make a sacrifice to come with me.
That's not how that works. No.
That's not. Everything we do is 100%. We're both in it.
Yeah, we're both down. I mean, usually we're on the same page, and yeah, no, it's not. I mean, it's obviously still a give and take, but I would say I'm not gonna sacrifice a vacation because you just want to go on it.
I mean, there's no give and take. There's no sacrifices between us for the most part. I mean,
Well,
it's
no sacrifices, but I mean, when my boy calls me and I'm busy, I mean, of course I want to answer, but like if I'm busy, that could that could be a problem.
well, you're a scumbag. You don't answer like half the time I
That's
call.
false.
There was one
Absolutely
time.
false.
There was one time for the listeners who are listening. My car broke down around Frank G's house, and I am walking home, and I'm in front of Frank G's house, calling him because maybe he can help me, give me a ride back home. And he ignores me, ignores me, ignores me. Later to find out he was just sleeping with some broad.
So there's a little backstory to this. At that time, Chris has called me probably like 2-3 times a day.
What's the problem?
So when you call me 2-3 times a day,
because of the volume of my calls.
hold on, I'm in the middle of this.
All right, I'll let you speak.
So when you call me 2-3 times a
So you're
day,
telling me because of the volume?
I guess I'm not speaking.
I'm kidding.
And we bullshit, and we could be on the phone for an hour each time, and I'm busy this one time, I probably am not going to answer. However, if a text message came through saying my car broke down, I'm near your house. All right, see you later, Biddy. Where's my boy at?
The disgust he has just calling that girl a Biddy. Was she a Biddy?
I don't remember who it was.
Oh, he's got a Rolodex, ladies and gentlemen.
This was years ago.
Oh, man.
To be honest, it was probably my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, we don't bring her up on this show.
Well, there you go.
There are no exes brought up on this show.
And that's final.
Fuck you, exes.
I mean, I'm happy. So you do what you want, exes.
I mean, yeah. I'm just happy.
Absolutely. We try and be as happy as we can. We do what we want.
Yeah, except we can't because we're still dealing with the current economic climate of the pandemic. But me and you had very good months. We had very good months this month.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, things bounce back. As a salesman, you're always trying to find ways to make your money or continue your business.
It's funny, man. It's either extremely stressful, difficult, heartache, or it's just pure joy. I'm rich, bitch.
Yeah. To be honest, it's a roller coaster of its highs and lows. You slowly getting to the top, and then all of a sudden the roller coaster just plummets down, and then next month you're up.
It switches on and off. I think what makes a good salesman, though, or at least one good for the culture, is to identify that happens.
Yep.
Therefore, that like I don't feel that emotion anymore.
Absolutely. It's because you're a veteran salesman, 10 years in plus.
Yeah, but still a lot of people depending on their character, there's 35-year-olds, 40-year-olds who still feel that. I just don't feel that no more. It is what it is.
And there are also definitely factors that play into that. I mean, if this salesman is having a real low month and they have rent due, they have food on, they got to put food on their table for their kids.
But then they fucked up because the month they killed it where they made fucking 10, 12, 15 grand that month, you have to budget yourself to understand that there is going to be a month where you made the least amount earned.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you obviously have to know that's you regulating your money. I mean, if you
money management.
Yeah, super important in life. But if I'm down in May, I'm not mad because I bet you I'll be up in June.
Well, I don't know. It seems like your store is always popping. It's like you're gifted the good area.
It's a dead area too. To be honest, it's a lot of clientele work.
Stop giving yourself credit. Shout out Alex. I know you're a client, and technically I'm a client as well. But like, you're not special. The brand is.
Well, if the people aren't in my store and I got to reach out to them, who's doing the work?
It's rude not to respond back to you.
how many salesmen or telemarketers have you probably picked up the phone and been like, go fuck yourself, don't call me back?
It actually doesn't happen as much as you think. I'd say 1 out of every 150 calls.
For you, someone saying it to you.
Yeah.
Well, that's because that's probably a lead, and then someone that you know needs money. So it's this. In fact, money is way more valuable than Ferragamo to some people. So you have the money product. You have the gold product.
Yeah, I definitely do. I mean, I'm giving out money, but I'm giving out $100,000 at a 30% interest rate over the course of a year. I mean,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
That's so so you bring that up. I'll quickly go into something. I see someone I know posted how they were searching and searching for like their passion, their job, and he's done a bunch of ventures, and he finally is opening a business for loans. And he's like, if this makes him happy, he wants to help people. And in my head, I'm like, how much fucking interest are you charging these people? Does that make you like? I'm not sure if you're happy, if this is a true passion, or you're happy you're just making money.
One, that's very interesting. I wonder who that is or how you know him, because if he's opening up a business selling loans, he essentially opened up what I do, the industry I'm in. And
I don't.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want. I'm not going to call anyone out. I saw this on a Facebook post, a very long post, where they seem passionate about it, explaining their life journey. And yeah, I have no idea how easy it is to open up this kind of business. To be honest, it seems like difficult. Either you need excellent credit or you need much capital. Lots of capital.
No, it's actually not difficult at all. I could open up this business. You need to create and formulate your LLC.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to call a company like mine and say, hey, can I work with you? Now, yes.
Yeah.
Now, all I have to do is find a client who wants money, and then I give it to a company like mine, and they're the ones who give the money out.
So, okay, so you're like the middleman.
Correct. I'm the bank.
Yeah.
He's the middleman.
Yeah. Finding the clients
and the bank.
Yeah. So it seems like a very I mean, it just doesn't seem easy to start up, but obviously
right now, it's a terrible.
That's what I'm saying too. Yeah. During the pandemic, where I'm sure many people in this field are struggling. I mean, sales are struggling, obviously, even retail sales. I mean, now it's either you're spending money because you haven't in a while and you want to feel good for a little. I mean, you don't really need shoes. I guess you need money, but it just seems like if you have such a high percentage of interest, it's probably a hard business to start right now.
What do you mean high percentage of interest is a hard business to start?
Well,
sell product?
If part of your business model is you give a loan for $100,000, but they have to pay back $130,000, that just seems hard during a pandemic when the economy is struggling.
So that's where you have to sell it. So first off, my company would give it out to $130,000 for $100,000, but it would be 38 cents if we gave it to that broker, the guy who you just spoke about, because we have to give him the spread to make commission.
He's got to make his somehow.
Yeah, so he actually has to sell it at 38%. So if he sells 100,000, he has to pay back 138,000. Now, how do you sell that? It's pretty easy, to be honest. I mean, let's say a trucker who has 2 trucks, and they generate, let's say, $60,000 a month each. That's $120,000 a month.
And
right?
Then they do the math of what an extra truck would bring in.
Let's say one breaks down.
Okay, yeah.
Now you have no fucking choice. You have to take the money and you'll pay back that 38% interest, because it makes way more financial sense to lose and miss out on that business.
Yeah, it makes sense to take that loan, get your money in, as opposed to having a dead truck that makes you $0.
Exactly. And this works with, pizza ovens. This works with, mechanics. They have those lifts. So you can create good, and in a way, the money we generate are for failing businesses. So you do help people because they could take the money and get an ROI.
So that part of that business model is probably what makes it successful, because in my opinion, and I think it's probably a fact, in sales, you're helping each other. You're selling something to
Yes.
help that person, and in turn, you're obviously helping yourself because you're making commission.
Correct. And now look, I had a client last week and it was sad. He gave me a call and he was paying an absurd price where he had to pay about $2,300 per week to pay our loan off.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, Chris, if I don't take this 30,000, my business is going to shut down. And I straight up told him, I'm like, if you take this 30,000 in 6 months, you're going to be in the same situation you currently are in,
where you need to pay back 30,000 extra.
He's going to call me up.
Yep.
And it's going to be this. So you're kicking the can down the road. And the way I sold him was to be completely honest and empathetic and as clear as day, right?
Absolutely. Transparent.
Because he spoke to my partner who was trying to like just sell him to make the commission. So he wanted to speak with me. And I always tell my clients or anyone, I don't care if you buy or not, as long as you know the information and give me an opportunity.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that way of thinking, being honest with your client, being transparent, telling them the right moves, most likely will be better for you in the long run. That person trusts you, they're going to come back, and if you treat everyone like that, you just said the guy asked for you. He didn't want to talk to the partner.
Pretty much. And I sold the deal. Now, I think you're correct in that way of thinking, that to think and act like that in the selling cycle process, long term is how you win. But when you work for a corporation with quotas, with numbers, with management, with micromanagement, that all gets drastically changed. And now when that guy, could go out of business, and if I know he's going to go out of business if he takes the money, it forces the individual to push harder and to hard sell it, which is now bad.
Yeah, I mean, but what choices does this guy have if his business is going to close if he doesn't find money? Is there a cheaper way to find money?
No. I mean, he knows what the choice is.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there are other situations where you can push that money on someone who may not need it.
Yep.
And then you can cause them to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
And the only two reasons why you would do that is if you're a greedy bastard who don't care about people.
Definitely greed. Yep.
Or if you're under corporate pressure.
I guess one sucks tremendously, and the other one you need to learn your your ethics.
Well, the ethics actually goes into the corporate entity in that.
Absolutely, that's true. That's actually a good point. Because corporate is just like sell. I don't care.
Yeah, and it puts the individual in a tough spot because it's like, hey, like I have a family, I have bills, I do have to make this money. Man, it's funny. Everybody at my job makes fun of me because I wrote a book that's on Amazon called Formulas of the Journey.
I don't know why they make fun of you. That's great.
Why they make fun of me?
That's great. I don't know why I'm saying that. Makes no sense.
Because I'll tell you why. Because in the first paragraph, I said how I used to work on Wall Street selling loans at 40% on the dollar, and I didn't want to do that because it was unethical.
And you still do
I left. Yeah, and then I'm back. I'm back doing it.
All right. Well, maybe we need to edit the first paragraph of that book because I'm sure you have formulas that you had thought were, something that people should hear.
Yeah, but it's different because I'm doing it now with an ethical company. So.
Oh, absolutely. Very true. True.
It's completely different. Like I have the freedom to tell the guy on the phone, I don't think this is a good idea for you.
What you just did. Yeah. The story you just told.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you in the other company. I remember I just remember how you felt. I remember talking to you, and yeah, I remember it wasn't something that you wanted to do for a
It
long time.
was fucked up what I was doing, and I was a 22-year-old manager with a team, not knowing what the hell I'm doing, and putting people in bankruptcy. I got a funny sales story that happened to me last week. If you're interested,
Of course, love sales stories.
so this guy was the most pissed anyone has gotten, and he hung up right in my ear. He's a client that I'm pitching a deal to, and let's just say it's a closed loss.
Okay.
So I'm not going to give you the full specifics of the actual like transaction because it gets pretty intricate on what I sell from a numbers aspect.
Yeah.
But I guess long story short is he thought he was going to get $10,000 off.
Discount.
But, correct. So he took a $30,000 loan and he had to pay back $40,000 over the course of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's 25% interest. Now, if you renew your loan, we forgive 100% of the outstanding interest. But you can't renew until 50%.
Okay. I was going to say there has to be something else.
Yeah, so when you renew, you got to remember you paid off part of your principal and the interest. So at 50%, you don't have a $30,000 principal and a $10,000 interest. You have like $20,000 principal and like $3,000 interest because every payment goes to interest and principal.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So he thought that he was going to get the whole
cancel the whole thing.
The whole $10,000 interest was going to be waived,
wiped away.
And he's sitting there arguing with me that when someone sold him the initial loan, this is what it was. So I asked him, like, who'd you speak with? Oh, I don't remember. But he's telling me X, Y, and Z on how the loan is supposed to work and what he was told.
I mean, interesting.
Now, look, sales is all about energy, right?
Absolutely.
So, and from a phone aspect, it's about tonality.
Tone, yes.
So I'm very, conservative. I don't speak like how I'm speaking now for the most part at all. So after 3 times of going over what it is, now you have to get stern, right? Now you have to get stern where if you lose the deal, you don't care, but you have to know that like you're in charge and you mean business.
Yeah, you're the one selling him. He's not telling you how the show's going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So eventually, and sales guys know everything. They know the back end. They know what you're doing before you're doing it. They control and dictate it all.
Yeah.
But eventually this guy pissed me off. And I'm like, let me ask you something. You're telling me this is how it is, and this is what you were told, but you don't remember who told you that?
100%. That was what I was going to ask you. How do you not remember?
I'm like, how do you not remember who told you all this, but you're so sure that this is what was said?
Also, what a gift it is to be completely waived of that $10,000. If that was the case, you would absolutely remember that person's name.
Facts.
Yeah.
In fact, I even see who like sold him, who spoke to him, XYZ.
Of course.
It's in the contract on like what I'm saying. Bro, this guy was so pissed that like, that's a real fuck you from me, but being a nice guy, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. He's taking advantage or trying to.
A client doesn't want to hear that, especially when he's a trucker or a mechanic. Like he's not used to someone putting him in his place. He called me condescending, hung up in my ear. I didn't speak to him since.
He called you condescending?
Yeah, because of course.
That's not the worst, I guess, verbal.
Well,
insult.
No. Well, you can't curse me out, really, because
you're recorded.
Well, no, I'm recorded. I can't curse him out.
Okay.
But he necessarily wouldn't curse me out because at the end of the day, I'm correct.
Yeah, he knows that, and so that's so funny.
So he's pissed.
You see that everywhere. I mean, that happens to me too, as well. I mean, I came into this company in the position of manager, and I had a client who I bought a bag a year ago, said it got lost, and I owed him money. Like it took months and months to work with this client, completely making shit up. saying he bought a bag from the previous manager and I needed to do something. I went through corporate. I went through everyone. I'm like looking for this guy's information.
But he's lying. He's trying to play the system.
He's lying. And I've called the nearby Gucci at the time. He did it to them as well.
That is so funny. Did you intentionally, how did you know to call them? That was just a thought?
So I at the time I was very close with the loss prevention guy who is not with us anymore, but he said people sometimes do this as a career. They will constantly go to every retailer and do shit like this around the United States. And I was like, that's very interesting. And he's been in LP for 30 years. So I called the Gucci because I know two of the people there, and they had his name and they had him on literally as like a watch list.
So is that all the proof you need to showcase your superiors? Hey, we're not like refunding him or ignore him.
That is all I needed for me to feel good. My company was not giving him anything. The guy had no receipt. I was trying to do the right thing.
Oh, you're funny. Oh, you're too nice. I'm way more of a dickhead than you.
Well, if this was a real problem, I mean, I would try and help him. But I had to obviously get to the bottom of it.
If this was a year ago and the guy, I'd have to look at him and judge him on how he's acting in body language. But get the fuck out of here. A year ago.
Very funny. He comes into the store just like all happy all the time. He don't come in no more. But when he came in and in the middle of this whole problem for like 3 months, he would always come in happy and leave very mad because I would never give what he wanted.
Man, I tell you, maybe we should have more shows where we just have some sales stories.
That's a very valid point.
Yeah. Our empire is so far the foundation of it is sales. We made our bank account because we sell shit, which is a tangible, useful skill for anyone.
Absolutely. Any type of sales knowledge. This is tangible knowledge. Yeah, you literally use this as we are speaking.
Listen, if you're listening to me now, go to your significant other and ask them, do you want to have sex now or later? And that is a sales tactic. With that being said, I'm out. I don't know about you. I'm out.
I'm just going to say great sales tactic, and maybe you guys will get more sales episodes.
It's a great sales tactic because they'll either say now or
later.
Yeah, buddy.
Later.